This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Philly Sports Guy show. Today is Friday, July 29th. Excuse me. And we are talking about Philly sports. Lots of stuff happened yesterday. The Phillies go out to Pittsburgh, and bats are swinging. Everybody's happy until the ninth inning, where Familia tries to give it up. I told you, I keep making the joke. I don't know why we keep using him because I'm familiar with how he pitches and I don't want to see him anymore. I can't imagine that Thompson wants to use him. I mean, they almost blew this game. Again, 5 runs in the ninth inning. We've had a game like that already so far this year against the Mets. Did not want to be able to redo that one. But the Phillies take the first one in this series against our cross-state rivals, the Pittsburgh Pirates. They win this game 8-7. Schwarber hits his 32nd home run. Actually, and there was a lot of hits in this game. 15 hits in all. I believe every starter did wind up with a hit in this game. It's nice when we actually have something like that where everybody hits. Woohoo! We used to hear, everybody knows that guy. We used to hear him all the time, and it was true in Pittsburgh. And there's a lot of Philadelphia contingent out in Pittsburgh right now. I know that Philly Sports Trips, they brought a big group out there. I knew of a couple of girlfriends of mine that were going out. So there was a lot of people that are going to be out in Pittsburgh this weekend. Unfortunately, I am not going to be there. I tried to get out there and try to make it happen, but I've got other stuff that is happening this week that kind of really stopped me from being able to make that happen. But to go backwards, the Phillies do take the first one in this series, and they got, like I said, they win this one 8-7. That puts them still. We are still, I believe, a half game out, or I don't know. I didn't see St. Louis. No, so we are in a virtual tie. We go back into the leader spots with we're in the playoffs. I guess we're in a virtual tie with St. Louis because now we no longer hold those games in hand. Well, we caught up and now we have the exact same records. And I think that right now, unless St. Louis makes a really big splash at the trade deadline, that I don't think that we're going to be looking backwards. We're moving forward here. I feel that the Phillies could do some movement here at the trade deadline. I don't know that we're going to have a big splash like a Juan Soto or even an Ohtani, which from what I hear is on the trade block. That they are listening to offers for him. Uh, wouldn't that be something? Having Ohtani here, a bat and a guy who could pitch, could definitely fall right into that number 3 role. We would become I would be surprised if we could make that type of ridiculous splash, and I don't think that we are. I don't think we have the chips to be able to trade to the Angels to be able to make this happen. But if we were to have, everybody can dream. If we were to have Otani on this team with his pitching and his bat, first off, we'd have a logjam at the designated hitter area. I mean, I just don't know what you would do with Derek Hall because, like I said, he's been doing pretty well. He hit a triple yesterday. I mean, that the big man can move. Like I said, he was getting around those bases pretty quickly. It's not simple to hit a triple. I would never expect Rhys Hoskins to hit a triple unless it could have been an inside the park home run because Rhys is not the fastest guy. But Derek Hall moving around the bases makes that happen and starts off all of the hitting yesterday. Gets the first couple RBIs with Rhys Hoskins and Alec Boehm scoring in front of him after that triple to deep right. Zach Wheeler, great outing, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 8 Ks, 3 walks. And I feel like that, first off, was it Angel Hernandez that was behind the mound again? Was he the one? Let me see. No, it was Ortiz. I thought it was. I thought it was Hernandez. I can't imagine that. We want him behind umpiring any game. There was a couple of questionable calls. I know the walk in the first inning, I thought was a strike, that he struck him out looking and they called it a ball. I was like, wow. If he's going to be fighting those calls all the time, and then he was going to have a little bit of a tough outing. So he does have 3 walks in this, which is a little bit not what you would expect from Wheeler, but ultimately makes it happen. They said he only gives up 3 hits, 2 earned runs. So great. And the save by Seranthony Dominguez, who comes in and puts the kibosh on the fact that Familia was trying to give this up. I feel like he's still playing for the Mets a little bit. It's like, come on, this guy should be not on this roster anymore. I'm tired of watching him give up runs. He's a pitching coach now. Like, I feel like that he's perfect to be serving them up for home run derbies because he just does not have it. I don't know if it's a mental thing, if he's got lost of his velocity, if he's just putting them all up in the zone and the hitters are able to hit him. But you cannot put him back out there again. He is just ridiculously bad right now. He's got, I think in total, he's got a 6 ERA, and just, guys are hitting, over 300 on him. You cannot continue to put him back out there over and over and over again and expect that things are going to change. It's time to start to, get him off of the roster. He can't be taking up a spot if we're not going to be able to use him, even in times when we have big leads. Here it is. He tried everything he could to give it up. And when you look at this, I mean, we have other guys. Yeah, Newble comes in and pitches. He gets a strikeout and a walk. Obviously, it's he's got a little bit of a command issue, but has been pitching pretty well as of late. The only guy who's really been causing the biggest issues is Familia, and I know they do not want to. Bellotti is actually one of our better pitchers. You don't want to send him in when there's a 6-run lead. I know that they're trying to get this guy on track, but I feel like it's time to move on from him completely. He's not going to be on a playoff roster because you can't trust him to be able to do anything when it comes to the playoffs because you can't trust him in the regular season against a team that had 2 hits really going into that. And now all of a sudden they give up another 4 hits, 5 earned runs. It's just, come on now. Isn't it enough? Enough is enough with this. Time to get him off. But Seranthony Dominguez solves the problem, and we get that worked out. And like I said, Kyle Schwarber gets his 32nd home run in the 6th inning. Doing great work over there. I mean, obviously, I was unsure about this signing initially. He's a career 260 hitter. He had a number of home runs last year. He had a career high in home runs last year. I think it was like 26. So he's already eclipsed that. He's got 32 home runs right now. He leads the National League. there's not much more that you could say about that. I mean, ultimately, it's a shame that he doesn't have the type of glove that would be able to warrant him possibly getting into the MVP talk. It's just obviously he's not. He hits a lot of home runs, but he doesn't hit a lot of RBIs because obviously he's leading off. So until there's somebody on base, there's no way for him to be able to get those extra guys in until we can get like a true leadoff guy. But he does have. This was a 3-run home run, so because it was in the 6th inning, so it Stubbs scores, Veerling scores. So, and with Stubbs, I met Stubbs' dad the other day. Great guy. Was out there at the park. He's from the West Coast. Came all the way back to come see his kid. Come play. Yeah, that's awesome to meet them. I love it when the parents are involved with the team and such. It's obviously, you know, it's a great thing when your kid is in the major leagues. And Stubbs has been doing pretty well. Obviously, it's he doesn't get to play as much because he's behind Real Muto, but definitely doing some good work out there. And it was good to see his father and his mother and his father there. He came and took a picture with the crazy guy with all the face paint on. So and said he was going to tune into the show. So hopefully he's watching. And if he is, hello. Hope you made it back safely. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again in October for the playoffs because that'll be a lot of fun when the Red October begins because the Phillies are making the playoffs. I said it yesterday. I had somebody make a comment saying that the Phillies ain't going to make it. The Phillies do make the playoffs this year. Like I said, I'm not even sure that the Mets made a couple of small little trades yesterday. Nothing really crazy. They picked up a pitcher who's got a 10 ERA or a 9.45 ERA and a left-handed bat who's okay, but he's a utility player. He's not somebody who's going to make a big splash there with the Mets. I expect that the Mets are probably going to try to do a little bit more to solidify some of their pitching because they do have two great pitchers, and if you start the series off with them, I don't understand how you could possibly lose that because you're going to be pitching them both twice in a series. So there's your 4 games. It's going to be tough to beat Scherzer and DeGrom come playoff time. However, the Mets are the Mets, and I can imagine that there is a thought process that's going through their head that says, we are used to swooning around this time. How do we make sure we don't swoon now? Tuesday's the trade deadline. I can only imagine that that's what they are thinking about as they move forward here. So hopefully, they don't get anybody spectacular. I don't see them getting Soto. I can't imagine they have the chips to really get Ohtani or anything like that. But we never know. You never know what's going to happen. That's why Major League Baseball is so crazy around this time of year. Plus, everybody else is also trying. I mean, I feel that the Red Sox gave an affirmation that they weren't going to trade Bogarts or Devers from their squad, but I think that they're going to be sales guys. There's a number of teams that are going to be selling. Obviously, the Reds started their purge. I hear that the Giants are going to stand pat, that they are not going to trade anybody. And they're 17 games back. They won yesterday, but they have not been doing very well as of late. Kapler having a real problem out there. I guess he ran out of his coconut oil. So I kind of feel that they've been falling off of the wayside here, and it's going to be interesting moving forward here. What happens in these wild cards? As of right now, like I said, the Phillies are in a tie, not even a virtual, in a tie with the Cardinals. They're 3 games up on the Giants, 5 games up on the Marlins. Both of those teams for the wild card. The Padres, who have not been doing so hot, are coming back down. They are only 2.5 games up on both the Cardinals and the Phillies. If they, unless they make a little bit of a splash, because they are reeling right now, it's possible that they could be on the outside looking in And the Braves, who had the day off yesterday, are at 6.5 games back, or 6.5 games up on the wild card itself. Right now, the Phillies are 9.5 games back from the Mets from first place. The Braves are 3.5 games back, are 3 games back on the Mets for first place in the NL East. So we got some time still. There's still some games to play. I believe where are we at right now? We are at uh, 99 games. We're almost at 100 games, so there's 63 left to play. You know, let's at least win 3 here in Pittsburgh and start moving on from there. That's where I feel like our best work is going to be done with that. Specifically, today we have Bailey Falter, who with a 0-3 record, a 5.18 ERA, 29 Ks, 10 walks, going up against Jose Quintana, who's got a 3-5 record, a 3.7 ERA, 85 strikeouts and 28 walks in 97 and a third innings. I am expecting, like I said, Jose Quintana is probably one of their better pitchers. Hopefully, they can bring the bats out today and get to him early, get him out of the game, and get to their bullpen because their bullpen is not the best whatsoever. However, as we are talking about possible trades for the Phillies, there is a tremendous amount of reliever help that's out there. And there's a piece of me that kind of believes that. If we want to get some real quality relievers, there is the potential, I think, with a natural trade partner of Houston. And I wouldn't be surprised if Rhys Hoskins is dangled out there. They have a problem at first base that they could use a little bit better bat. I think that Rhys is on a little bit of a tear, so his value is up higher right now in comparison. I'm not necessarily quick to pull the trigger on Rhys Hoskins. However, if we could get a good quality reliever or even a good starter or both for Rhys Hoskins, who I think would do really well with the Astros, and you're not like sending him to some scrub team. You know what I mean? This is a team that actually could very well compete for the World Series. I feel that you would be doing maybe him some good and our team some good. It's a thought process. I can't guarantee that that's going to happen, but we will see. Like I said, Tuesday is the trade deadline, and I do expect the Phillies to make some moves. It's not going to be just Segura and Harper coming back, and everything's just going to be fine and dandy from there. All right, guys, very quickly, let me go to these commercial messages, and we'll be right back with more Philly Sports Guys Show. Be back in just over a minute.
The Hometown Foundation is excited to bring back the Dream Ride experience, August 26th to the 28th at Connecticut's Farmington Polo Club. Join us in celebrating the accomplishments of our Dream Riders while enjoying live music, a car and motorcycle show, family fun zone, pet adoptions, canine demonstrations, the Fireman's Chili Cook-Off, and much, much more. Get your tickets today.
Sorry. I mean, you can see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboy fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready.
I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face. Oh, I'm from Brooklyn. Hey, get any.
And we're back. And just to let you know, I'm not showing the commercial today because we don't have as much time as I usually do. PhillySportsTrips.com. They're out in Pittsburgh right now, so if you missed that trip, they're going to have more. I think we're going back down to Washington. We may be going to a couple of other Phillies locations. They also have spring training for next year. They've already got close to 60 people going to that. So if you want to get to spring training, or if you want to go to any away Eagles game, we're headed to Detroit. We're headed to every Eagles game this year. And you know who goes with them? The Philly Sports Guy travels with PhillySportsTrips.com. We have over 500 people already going to Washington. We cannot take over the entire stadium, so you have to get your tickets very soon. $325, and that is, you get transportation, the tailgate, the lower level ticket. $325. It costs $325 to go to an Eagles game at home. And you get to go to Washington. We get lower level to give a big Philly welcome back to the NFC East to Carson Wentz. It's going to be a lot of fun. So definitely, please come on out and go to PhillySportsTrips.com/TPSG, the Philly Sports Guy, and go ahead and book wherever you can. We're going to Arizona. It's going to be a great trip. We're going to Chicago. I've never been to Chicago, so it's going to be a lot of fun for me. We're heading up to Detroit for opening night. We have tailgates down at the Navy Yard that comes with free parking for all home games. So please come on out there. For our tailgates, that we got Tank, we got Hollis Thomas coming and joining us every tailgate. So please come on out. It'd be a lot of fun. Book it right there on PhillySportsTrips.com. There was some stuff that came out at practice yesterday. The Eagles go ahead and have day 2 of practice. It was a little hot yesterday, so they only practiced for a little while. But that wasn't the big news in the NFL. The big news really in the NFL, there was kind of a couple of stories, but the big one, as we were talking about Washington, was that Daniel Snyder testified to Congress. And I'm only mentioning this because it is an NFC East story. And, it's like I've been following this a little bit because Daniel Snyder is just this whole story kind of intrigues me. And, how much of a mess can you make out of a franchise that you own? And it doesn't matter how many billions of dollars you have. And he testified to Congress yesterday for 11 hours. Of course, he wasn't in Congress. He didn't go to Congress. He testified from his yacht. I find this absolutely hysterical. Yeah, 11 hours testifying to Congress from his yacht. I don't know where his yacht was, but, it's just like, hey, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Can I have another Mai Tai, honey? How does that work? How does that really work? It's just, can you take this guy seriously? Is it a real thing? We are going to find out what he said on Tuesday, that they are going to release. This is going to be a part of public knowledge, so that we are going to get to see what he did. And it was reported that he did answer all the questions. So the fact that he answered these questions is one thing. I would like to know how he answered them, because he's got some splaining to do. Definitely has some splaining to do. He's got, how do you say that you have, what kind of culture are you having there? First off, I mean, the stadium is falling apart. I know he wants to get a new stadium. They're looking at different sites in Maryland and Virginia and such like that, and saying, okay, this could be a good spot. This could be a good spot. This could be a good spot. Ultimately, this franchise has been very haphazard. Ever since he's owned it, he has been a controversial figure. He's definitely not done things the right way there. And, so it'll be interesting to kind of see how this all ends up. The other thing that I took notice today is that I was looking at all of the different odds for the teams this year. As I go to pull this back up again, the Eagles are a plus 3,000 to win the Super Bowl, which I found a little interesting. Obviously, the Cowboys are a little bit above them at plus 1,800. The top two, the top from the AFC and the top from the NFC. AFC is the Bills at a plus 650. And the NFC, now with the signing of Julio Jones to the Buccaneers, put him up at a plus 750. So I find it's interesting to see that they actually have those two teams possibly meeting in the Super Bowl. At least that's what Vegas is talking about. But there was a lot of movement in some of the lines. Obviously, the Buccaneers, that if you got it right when Brady retired, they were at 40-1. And now they are at 750. So at 7.5-1. So if you could have gotten a big return on that number just by getting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and booking them at 40-1 right after Brady retired. Packers are at a plus 1,000. The Chiefs are at a plus 1,000. The Rams are underneath them at a plus 1,100, and that rounds out the top five. The other LA team who don't have a home because the Rams call it their house instead of the Chargers, even though nobody actually goes to any of those games unless you're an away fan. If you're going to play in LA, you want to see the stadium, so you've gone to that stadium because LA don't go to that stadium. Nobody actually goes to that stadium other than opposing fans, even though they tried to make sure that no 49er fans would buy any tickets to that playoff game. It was a sea of red. I didn't see any blue out there. And even when the Rams won the Super Bowl, there was a whole, tens of hundreds of people, storming the streets. It was like a little cocktail party out there. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a big deal. Nobody cares about the Rams in LA. Actually, there was more people who were excited about the Rams in St. Louis than there was in LA out there for that. Moving forward, the 49ers, who are, they're not even sure who their quarterback is at a plus 1,600. I don't think you're getting good value with that. The Broncos at a plus 1,700. I find that really odd that you have the Chiefs at a plus 1,000, the Chargers at a plus 1,500, and the Broncos at a plus 1,700. These are all teams that are in the AFC West. The other team, the Raiders, are at a plus 4,000. But I got to imagine, so if you're that close and that high up into winning the Super Bowl, who's going to win that division? And how would you bet that? That's ludicrous to me. Can't figure that out. I got to imagine that obviously the Chiefs are probably holding it up at maybe an even money. With the Chargers to being like a plus 120, the Broncos at a plus 140, and then the Raiders at plus 250 maybe. I mean, I can't imagine that it's any good. Like that. A sneaky G-man is trying to call me right now, getting ourselves together because I have something happening pretty crazy here in a little bit. At 8:15, I have a film crew coming to film me watch me transition from the guy you see right now into the Philly sports guy. So it's going to be a very interesting time right here today in my household, where we're going to have a whole film crew here. I'm not actually sure where it's at. Thank God I got the air conditioner down because it's going to get hot in here. But anyways, it's going to be a lot of fun today. So I'll let everybody know the details once I get all of them and when this is going to air. But I can't imagine it's going to happen anytime real soon. But I will let everybody know what's going on. In the meantime, like I said, we're coming close to the end here. But just to finish off, the Eagles are at a plus 3,000. We are tied with the Browns. And obviously, the word came out that they're probably only going to give him 6 games, their quarterback. The name escapes me really fast. So they're only going to give him 6 games. At least that's what the report is right now. We'll see if that really occurs. But to only be a plus 3,000, it's like in the Ravens are at a plus 1,800, and the Bengals are at a plus 2,200. So I'm surprised that the Ravens are even higher than the Bengals right now. And who's to say that the Bengals aren't even a little bit better now? Like I said, I think Joe Burrows is a player. After watching him play against the Eagles in his rookie season and watch the Eagles just crush him, they killed him with 8 sacks. And he got crushed last year with sack after sack after sack. And he just gets up, brushes himself off, and leads the team to a win. Can't bet against Joe Burrows, not at all. And I feel that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And if they could just get some offensive linemen to protect him even a little bit, they're going to have a big problem. I don't know that you get good value with the Ravens at a plus 1,800, but at a plus 2,200, that is a halfway decent value. I wouldn't be surprised to see that, see them go back to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, the teams that they have to get over is really the Chiefs and the Bills, and if they're lucky, they may only have to face one of them. So, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. Hope to see you guys next week, and as always, go Philly! Yeah, have a great weekend.